So, ladies and gentlemen, my guest now is Mohamed Akouji, the man in charge of the global logistics business at DP World. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I heard it's your first time here in Munich at the Transfer Logistics Fair, right?
Yes, no, it's great to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
How do you like the fair so far? What's your impression?
No, it's fantastic. Great networking, great to meet some customers, and also to see what other logistics companies are doing. So I'm looking forward to spending the next 2 days and learning, absorbing, and also getting to meet colleagues and customers. Yeah.
Has DP World a known booth here in Munich?
Yes, so we've got a booth in B5.
And with all the sub-brands you still have as well, right? With Imperial, Syncreon, and so on?
Yeah, we do have the sub-brand still, but we are in the process of integrating the businesses and moving towards one brand as DP World.
And then it will be DP World or DP World Logistics, or what will be the brand?
No, we're going to have DP World as the mother brand.
Can you already give us a time frame? How long will it take?
So the first phase of that is where we've put the tagline, a DP World company with Imperial. And we're hoping to transition fully to DP World, I would say, over the next 12 to 18 months.
I mean, you have had a busy job, I would say, in the last couple of months. The takeover of Imperial, for example, is about a year ago. A lot has happened. How far did you get on the path, and what's coming in the next chapters, kind of?
Yeah, no, it's been a really busy 12 months. We've been doing many things. We've been integrating our businesses where it makes sense. So a lot of time was focused around how can we integrate our businesses where we've got common capabilities and where it made sense for us from a value creation point of view. So in Europe, there was a big integration of Imperial, Syncreon, and DP World. In Africa, there was less of an overlap, but there we've spent a lot of time to position ourselves as the gateway to Africa, leveraging of ports and terminals with our inland logistics. And the business is running, so there's also the day-to-day to take care of. The markets have been challenging in certain areas. We've got a strong new business pipeline. Going forward, our strategy is to create an end-to-end logistics supply chain business, leveraging of our ports and terminals, logistics, and our marine vertical. We've got gaps, particularly in the areas of freight forwarding, so we have an ambition to expand that part of our business. And we want to leverage off our strengths as well. We have a very, very well-developed footprint in Africa, and connecting Africa with the world is one of our key initiatives. So lots of new ideas, new growth opportunities, new business opportunities that will drive our growth going forward over the next 3 to 5 years.
And freight forwarding is mainly air and sea, or is it also land transport you're looking at?
No, it's focused on A&C. We do have established land-based businesses in key geographies like Africa and Europe. But we want to get a bigger presence in A&C, and from there build our other capabilities on the freight side.
And regionally speaking, it's probably North America and Asia you're looking at, because I mean Africa is strong, Middle East is strong, Europe you have a setup, I guess.
Yes, you know our business well. So North America and Asia are where we are focusing. It's our least developed logistics regions. So we focusing a lot on our activities in those markets.
If we look at the market surroundings, I mean, we have talked with a lot of people, and it's always a question, how important is China going to be in the future? Is there the shift to Southeast Asia? How do you look at it?
No, I see China as a very important market. It will always be an important market. I think there will be outsourcing to other markets like Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, India. All those markets are becoming also a lot more competitive from a manufacturing point of view. Lots of markets are looking at onshoring. There's a big drive to local manufacturing a big drive to shortening the supply chain. So that will take away, I believe, some of China's relevance, but as a market, it will always be relevant. So China is key to our strategy going forward, but so will the other markets that I mentioned in terms of positioning ourselves for the future.
I mean, if we look at your whole supply chain integration setup, how important are warehouses and contract logistics in the future? I mean, you have it in Africa, you have it in Europe, you're very big in automotive and all these kind of things. But generally speaking, is it becoming more important to really have these warehouses as consolidation or deconsolidation points?
Absolutely. I think as supply chain shorten and as our customers want to get closer to their clients or get closer to their points of sale, you do need to have warehouses and points of distribution that are supporting that. I'm sure you've seen the omni-channel development in terms of where in the retail sector clients are looking at different channels to get their product to market, and this requires warehousing. E-commerce, there's a huge drive for warehousing through the trend in e-commerce, because with e-commerce you need to be able to have your distribution closer to the last mile. So we have certainly seen that markets like Africa and Europe, where we have a very strong presence in contract logistics, the demand for our services have increased with the trends of local manufacturing, with the trends of e-commerce, and getting closer to the customer.
I mean, DP World is doing so many things. Of course, you have these digital solutions as well, where you're very active in. How good do they fit to the setup of the integrated logistics provider you're looking at?
Yeah, look, I think we have irons in the fire in terms of our digital solutions. So, or many of them, they play a role differently. So we have developed software or developing software that enable our existing logistics business. So for example, we're looking at developing a logistics solution or logistics system where we can have full visibility end to end. So that's an in-house development that we will leverage in logistics. But then we've got a focused digital logistics business that looks at digital freight exchanges. We've got C-Rates, which is targeting more the SME market in terms of providing a platform for logistics services. So, while those are small, I would say in the context of our bigger business, those are all future irons in the fire, and I believe will have a big place in our strategy going forward. But some of those solutions are not necessarily adaptable to our BCOs in the existing business. So lots of good development in that area. We've just developed a platform called Dubai, which is like an e-commerce platform, which allows traders in markets like Africa to connect to Dubai. So on a platform, you can order online and get your product delivered from Dubai into markets like Africa, where lots of traders from Africa go to Dubai, and now Dubai can come to the traders through using digital technology. So those are all future initiatives that I think will stand us in good stead as the world digitizes.
Would you say that you have a maybe more holistic approach on the business than other logistics service providers? Because as you mentioned, you would also create a platform just to do e-commerce, and from that, logistics could follow, for example. Or DP World is very active in the whole business of free trade zones, logistics zones, all these kind of things. So it pretty much sounds like you create your own business for your logistics part.
Absolutely. And that's why our strategy is to combine all of that into an ecosystem so that we can use all those areas of the supply chain with one purpose, to bring down the cost of logistics and supply chain, to improve trade. 10% of world trade goes through our network globally. So we have a lot of the world's trade going through our network. And with the addition of what you mentioned, we can shorten supply chains, make them more efficient, change supply chains. That's very exciting as part of our evolution and transformation.
Maybe one last question. I was looking at your setup, and I mean, of course, you have the terminals, which are hard assets. You have certain activities in shipping. How about air freight? Can we look at a DP World airline at a certain point?
Yeah, look, I think our approach to owning assets is, we don't need to own every asset in the supply chain to be end-to-end. We're fortunate we have a sister company called Emirates, which has got a great network. And, we will leverage off those kind of capabilities that are part of the family. I think our approach to asset allocation or capital allocation will be, we want to be asset appropriate. Where it makes sense to own assets, we'll own it. But where it makes sense to leverage off a sister company like Emirates or anybody else, we'll also leverage of those assets.
Well, it shows it's not only good in real life to have a big family, but also in logistics. So thank you very much, and all the best to you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. All the
Thanks.
best.